Hey everybody, happy Wednesday to you. Time for your morning manna. Get your cup of coffee. Let's get into it. We're going to continue our devotion as we go through the book of James, picking up in verse 16 through 18 today. It says this: "Don't be deceived, my dear brothers and sisters. Every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of the heavenly lights, who does not change like shifting shadows. He chose to give us birth through the word of truth, that we might be a kind of first fruits of all he created." Now, there's really a lot going on here. You could probably put together an entire, sermon on this. I don't know about a series, but you could certainly go into this in depth, but I don't want to do that for our devotion purposes. We're really just kind of looking at the guts of this. Where he says, well, don't be deceived. Well, how? Because sometimes there are some people out there who are really good at deceiving you. And we even call Satan the great deceiver. And so being deceived is something that we are going to encounter. There are going to be people who try to deceive us, but he says not to do that. And then he adds a term of endearment, calling us his brothers and sisters. And he reminds us that every good and perfect gift is from above. And that's the point. We should expect nothing good from any of our own fallen nature. Nothing really that we should call good. The only thing that is good is really kind of at the root of what God is or who God is. And we understand that God is good all the time. I've given you this before many times, that there are two basic things that you can always count on to find joy. One is that God is good. Imagine if God wasn't good. What kind of world would that be? And also that his love endures forever. Those are two things that you can take to the bank always. So you shouldn't expect goodness from yourself or from your neighbor. And we do that. We just expect people to be good. And we really shouldn't, because people have a fallen nature. There is an evil sin nature to anybody. And a proclivity is not one for good. It is one for evil, especially with most. However, we believe that a believer can be sanctified and that the mode of our lives can be one of good. And so we should be striving for that. But we have to recognize that comes from God. And James is affirming that. He says, every, not most, not some, every good and every perfect gift comes from God the Father in heaven. So if there's something good in your life, something that you value, something that, is genuinely good, that came from God. Now, the ultimate goodness of any gift is got to be measured kind of on an internal scale. There are some things that we think are good, maybe winning the lottery or winning money, which could actually be leading us to destruction. So you have to be objective in your view of what is good. You have to think of goodness in terms of a biblical perspective. But God's goodness, like I said, is constant. There's no variation within him. And James understood, I think, that the gift of salvation was this gift of God and something that you couldn't earn through working, even though James discusses a lot in his book about works, and we'll talk about some of those things. But we see that this term that God brought us forth from salvation, and then in the end, he says that we are kind of a first fruits of all he created. Now you think about that for a second. We think about first fruits as a good thing, that we should tithe of the first of our fruits. And here's God saying we are his first fruit. So what's your devotion? We are God's greatest creation. We are his first fruit. And when you understand that a good God whose love endures forever thinks of you as his most amazing creation, well, that's a pretty good start to your day. So focus there. Hey guys, as always, remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you can be made aware every time we put out a new video. And don't forget to go out and bless somebody else today. Do something amazing for somebody else. Expect nothing in return and watch what happens in your life. We'll see you tomorrow.